In the coastal town of Oak Haven, salty breezes and weathered faces tell tales of a life intertwined with the ocean's tide. Here lives Alara, with her wind-tossed hair and eyes the color of the sea, a young woman who seems born of Oak Haven's very essence. Her laughter echoes the cries of gulls, her footsteps in time with the crashing waves. The sea, her confidant, her solace, her constant companion. Alara spends her days wandering the shore, collecting seashells that whisper secrets of distant lands. She feels most alive with the salty spray on her face and the wind carrying her thoughts to the vast horizon. The ocean holds a magic for her, a sense of boundless possibility that mirrors her own yearning spirit. In the evenings, Alara retires to her cozy cottage, perched on a cliff overlooking the sea, surrounded by the scent of salt and the rhythmic roar of the waves, losing herself in tales of faraway places and epic romances. Little does she know, her own story is about to unfold, carried on the wings of fate and whispered on the ocean breeze. Miles away, in the bustling city, Liam, a young man, finds solace in the written word. A writer by trade, he pours his heart and soul into crafting stories that transport readers to other worlds. Yet a sense of longing lingers in his heart, a yearning for something beyond the confines of his urban existence. One day, a peculiar letter arrives on Liam's doorstep, its envelope bearing the faint scent of salt and a simple Oak Haven postmark. Intrigued, Liam breaks the seal and unfolds the crisp paper. The words that greet him are like a breath of fresh air, filled with the tang of the sea and the warmth of an unknown soul. The letter is from Alara. She writes of her seaside town, her solitary walks on the beach, her dreams that mirror the vastness of the ocean. Her words paint vivid pictures in Liam's mind, transporting him to a world of crashing waves and salty breezes. With each letter he receives, Liam feels a connection growing, a spark igniting between two souls separated by miles but united by their shared love for the written word. Their correspondence blossoms, each letter a precious treasure to be read and reread. Alara shares her innermost thoughts and dreams with Liam, her words flowing onto the page like the tide washing ashore. She writes of her love for the sea, her quiet life in Oak Haven, and the strange sense of anticipation that fills her days. Liam, in turn, writes of his life in the city, his aspirations as a writer, and the growing fascination he feels for the mysterious woman who writes with such passion and eloquence. He finds himself drawn to Alara's spirit, her love for the simple things, her connection to something larger than herself. Their letters become a lifeline, a bridge across the miles that separates them. Through their words, they share laughter, dreams, and the quiet moments of everyday life. Unknowingly, they are falling in love, their hearts entwined like strands of seaweed carried on the ocean's current. As the weeks turn into months, the letters grow more intimate, filled with a longing that echoes the ceaseless ebb and flow of the tide. Alara finds herself gazing out at the horizon, wondering about the man who fills her thoughts with such warmth and intensity. She imagines his face, his smile, the sound of his voice reading her words aloud. Liam, too, is consumed by thoughts of Alara. He longs to meet her, to feel the sand beneath his feet on the shores of her beloved Oak Haven. Her letters have awakened a yearning in him, a desire to experience the world through her eyes, to share the sunsets and seashells that fill her days with such simple beauty. Their correspondence has become a cherished ritual, a source of comfort and connection in their otherwise separate lives. They write of their hopes, their fears, their dreams for the future. And with each letter, the distance between them seems to shrink, replaced by a growing sense of inevitability, a feeling that their paths are destined to cross. One crisp autumn afternoon, a stranger arrived in Oak Haven. Liam, unable to resist the pull of his heart any longer, had finally decided to meet the woman who had captured his soul through her words. As he stepped off the bus and felt the salty breeze on his face, he couldn't help but smile, as if he had finally come home. He made his way to the address Alara had given him, his heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. The cottage, perched on a cliff overlooking the sea, was just as he had pictured it, charming and weathered, with the scent of salt air clinging to its walls. Taking a deep breath, Liam knocked on the door. When it opened, he found himself face to face with Alara. She was even more beautiful than he had imagined, with her wind-tossed hair and eyes that sparkled like the ocean itself. In that instant, the world around them seemed to fade away, leaving only the sound of the waves crashing against the shore and the beating of their hearts in unison. Their first meeting was everything they had hoped for and more. They spent hours walking along the beach, their conversations flowing as easily as the tide. Liam listened intently as Alara shared her stories of Oakhaven, her love for the sea evident in every word. Alara, in turn, was captivated by Liam's gentle humor and his passion for storytelling. She felt a connection with him that ran deeper than words, a sense of recognition that transcended their brief time together. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the sand, they knew that their lives would never be the same. That evening, as they sat on the porch of Alara's cottage, the sound of the waves crashing against the shore providing a soothing soundtrack to their conversation, Liam confessed his love for Alara. He spoke of her letters, her spirit, the way she had captured his heart from afar. Alara, her own heart overflowing with emotion, whispered her love in return. The days that followed were filled with stolen kisses, shared laughter, and long walks along the beach. Liam, enchanted by Alara and the simple beauty of Oakhaven, decided to stay longer than he had planned. He found inspiration for his writing in the rhythm of the sea, the warmth of Alara's love, and the timeless charm of the coastal town. One evening, as the stars twinkled above them and the sound of the waves crashed against the shore, Liam got down on one knee. In his hand, he held a ring, a simple band of silver that shimmered in the moonlight. With tears in his eyes, he asked Alara to be his wife. Alara, her heart overflowing with love, whispered yes. In that moment, surrounded by the beauty of the sea and the promise of forever, they sealed their love with a kiss, their happiness echoing the timeless rhythm of the ocean. As their wedding day approached, a sense of foreboding began to creep into Alara's heart. She had always been drawn to the sea, but lately it seemed to whisper warnings on the wind. She couldn't shake the feeling that their happiness was too perfect, too fragile to last. Liam, sensing her unease, did his best to reassure her. He held her close, his love a beacon of warmth against the encroaching shadows. He promised her a lifetime of happiness, a love that would weather any storm. Despite her anxieties, the wedding day dawned bright and beautiful. The ceremony, held on the cliffs overlooking the sea, was a testament to their love, a celebration of the bond they had found in each other. As they exchanged vows, the sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow over the happy couple. Their happiness, however, was short-lived. A storm, fiercer than any Oakhaven had seen in years, descended upon the coast. The waves crashed against the cliffs with a fury that shook the very foundations of the town. Fear gripped Alara's heart as she watched the storm rage outside their cottage. Liam, determined to protect his new wife, held her close, his love a shield against the tempest outside. He told her stories, his voice a calming presence amidst the chaos. As the storm reached its peak, a rogue wave crashed against the cliffs, sending tremors through the cottage. The cottage, unable to withstand the onslaught, crumbled into the sea, taking Alara with it. Liam, devastated, searched frantically for his wife. his cries lost in the roar of the storm. But the sea, as quickly as it had taken her, refused to give her back. In the aftermath of the storm, Liam was left with nothing but his grief and the memories of his beloved Alara. He wandered the beach, his heart heavy with loss, the sound of the waves a constant reminder of all he had lost. The townspeople, their faces etched with sympathy, offered their condolences, sharing stories of Alara's kindness and her deep connection to the sea. One day, as Liam sat on the cliffs overlooking the spot where the cottage once stood, he noticed something shimmering in the sand. It was a small wooden box, its surface weathered by salt water but still intact. With trembling hands, he opened the box. Inside, he found a collection of Alara's most prized possessions: seashells, letters, and a small, leather-bound journal. As he leafed through the journal's pages, he discovered Alara's innermost thoughts, her dreams, and her unwavering love for him. Liam, his heart filled with a mixture of grief and gratitude, dedicated his life to honoring Alara's memory. He left Oakhaven and traveled the world, sharing her story with anyone who would listen. He wrote a book about their love, a testament to the enduring power of connection and the bittersweet beauty of life. Years later, Liam returned to Oakhaven one last time. As he stood on the cliffs, the wind whipping his hair and the salt spray on his face, he could almost hear Alara's laughter on the breeze. He knew that she would forever be a part of the sea, her spirit living on in the crashing waves and the whispers of the tide. And so, the legend of Alara, the girl who loved the sea, was passed down through generations of Oakhaven residents. Her story became a tale whispered on the wind, a reminder that even in the face of loss, love and hope can endure, carried on the timeless rhythm of the ocean's embrace.